This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to vividtrainings.com. So, in the last session, we have discussed about the SSIS. What are the very important components, right? On SSIS Designer, we have discussed each and everything. So, we'll do some demos so that you will understand clearly. So, let us start with the data flow tasks. So, what are the control flow tasks? So we know that control flow will control the execution of package. So control flow contains what? So some tasks, right? Containers and precedence constraints, right? So in the control flow, we are having so many tasks. Those are data flow, execute SQL task, analysis services, processing task, bulk insert, data profiling, execute package, execute process, expression task, file system task, FTP task, script task, send mail task, web service task, and XML task. Okay, so these are going to be we are going to be understanding one by one. So data flow task, the first one. So we know that it is used to perform ETL operations. Okay, it has sources, destinations, and transformations. Okay, so we have discussed clearly about the what the data flow is going to be doing and everything. So the next one is execute SQL task. So let me open. So this is my MSBI software, right? The user interface looks like this. So my project, recently I have created a project, so I am going to click on this, or else you can go file open. Okay, you can go where the project solution is available, where the folder is available, you go and open that, or else you can directly click on the recent project whatever you have created, right? So this is what the project we have created the last week. Okay, so if you see, I'm in control flow task. So in control flow we have data flow. So data flow is used to perform the ETL operations. So it contains sources, destinations, and transformations, right? So this is very important task to do the ETL operation, to extract, transform, and load the data from one place to another place. So data flow is mandatory, it is very important. Okay, so execute SQL task. So what is mean by execute SQL task? Let me drag it and drop it here. So simply you need to click on this, drag it and drop it here. Okay, so how many times you want to drag it and drop it, you can use those many times. So what execute SQL task will do means, double click on this execute SQL task. So whenever you will drag it and drop it, you will get red color mark. Okay, you will get red color mark. See, whatever the thing you have drag it and drop it, it is going to be giving you the red color mark. So you need to configure this. Okay, you need to configure, you need to remove this red color mark. So how it is going to okay, get rid of this red color mark? Double click on this. You need to configure the properties required to run SQL statements. Okay, we need to configure this. Okay, when you configure this only, you are going to be get rid of this red color mark. So what is mean by execute SQL task? Execute SQL task, it is used to execute SQL statements, that is DDL, DML, TCL, DCL, call stored procedure, call function, all these things it is going to be doing. Okay, so for example, execute SQL start. So it is used to execute SQL statements. So select star from account master table, so it has to execute. Okay, if you want to do some kind of insert, it will do insert. If you want to do any kind of update, it will do update. Okay, if you want to create a database, it will create. If you want to create table, it will create. Okay, if you want to call stored procedure, it will call the stored procedure, or function if you want to call, it is going to call. Okay, so it performs batch operations. We will discuss what is mean by batch operations. So when you double click on this, it is going to ask you to configure. So how to do configure? Okay, if you see, there is a connection. Okay, simply from starting it is going to be giving the description. Okay, what exactly the execute SQL task name description. So timeout is 0 seconds. So code page, it these all these things are okay, default things, so we are not going to be doing any kind of changes. If you come to the SQL statement, so execute SQL task is used to execute the SQL statements, right? So if you come to the SQL statement, the connection type we have OLEDB. That means it is going to be connecting to the both RDBMS and non-RDBMS, right? So connection, if you come to the connection, click on this, click on okay, new connection. So I am going to be making a new connection. So in Vivid trainings, okay, I am going to connect to the Vivid trainings. Let me delete this. I am going to creating a new. Okay, the server name. I need to give the server name. What is the server name I am having? So let me copy this. This is the server name. So if you see the provider, when you click on this drop down, it will show you so many things. So SQL server you can connect, analysis services you can connect, Oracle you can connect, and some other things. Okay, simple. Okay, MS datashape you can connect, SSIS you can connect. Okay, so if you want to connect for which different providers, okay, so servers you can connect to these servers. So this is the very basic, okay, basic version. So it is showing only few of them. If you take the advanced version, that means the recent version the SSDT has released, it is having so many different servers to connect. Okay, so you need to connect. If you want to connect to SQL server, you need to choose this. Okay, SQL server name. So server name, you need to give the server name, what that SQL server is going to connect. So authentication, same as like Windows authentication. Don't use the SQL server authentication. So if you have SQL server authentication here, so you need to give the login name and password. So same thing here also, you need to give the username and password. Okay, you need to choose the Windows authentication. So let me choose the database. So which database I want to connect? Vivid trainings. Let me click on test connection. Test connection succeeded. Now click on OK, click on OK, click on OK. So this is got done. Okay, this is got done. Okay, when you come down, source type direct input, so SQL statement, so you need to click on this dot dot dot. It will open a one small query window. It will open whatever the query you want to write in this, you can write. For example, let me open databases, vivid trainings, tables. So let me open select star from employee table. Okay, there is one record. So what I will do, I will write one simple statement, delete from employee table. Okay, so let me copy this statement I am mentioning in this, delete from employee table. Now click on OK. Okay, so now go to parameter mapping. So what is mean by parameter mapping, I will explain this later. Okay, don't worry right now. So when you come to result set and when you come to expressions, you can see you can write some kind of expressions over here. Okay, I will let you know the expressions also. Okay, now click on OK. So now the red color mark has gone. So I have used the SQL statement here, delete from employee table in this database. So whatever the data we have in the employee table, it is going to delete. Now see, now save this. Now start running the package. So it has done. We got a green color mark. So see, okay, now go to the progress. Progress, it is going to give the what are the steps it has taken to execute the package. Okay, so first it will do the validation. So task execute SQL task, it has started the validation, completed the validation. it has started running the package. So executing query, delete from query, 100% completed. So finish this time. So complete time it has took like this. Okay, validation is completed. So everything is done within this 1 millisecond. Okay, clear. So now stop this execution first. Stop this execution first. Now let me go to the SQL server. Now read the data from this table. There is no data. Clear. Just now I have deleted the data. So by using execute SQL task, what I have done, I have deleted the data from the table. Clear. So this is how we are going to be working with the packages. So we are going to understand each and every task what it is going to be doing. So later we will do one by one demo so that you can easily understand what is happening. Okay, or else if I explain one task for one okay, one task if I explain, so it will take so much of time to complete these tasks. Okay, so it performs batch operations. So batching operations is very important here. So batching operations is nothing but, for example, um what I meant to say. So yeah, for example, we have um the things like IO operations. Do you remember, guys? IO operations, input output operations. So input output operations is nothing but, for example, delete from table some blah 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 table. Okay, employee table. So that employee table is having 1 million records. Okay, 1 million records it is having. So if you write delete from table name, so what this execute SQL task will do, what the normal tasks will do means, how the execution will happen first it will go to the table and it will delete all the data from the table. So first it will go to the hard disk, okay, where the data is available. It will go to that path and it will delete some thousand of records first. So later again it will delete some thousand. So like that execution is going to happen. That means the workflow is very slow. Okay, the IO operations, that means you need to okay, for example, let me give you one example. So some of the colleagues came to my home. My mom is preparing some coffee to them. So what she has done, so there are 10 members. So she tried, okay, serving that coffee so multiple times. That means, so she is getting 2 cup of coffees in 2 hands and coming to the dining, so or else the hall, and she is providing the 2 cup of coffees to my colleagues. So again she is going to the kitchen and again she is getting 2 cup of coffees and she is serving in the, okay, hall. So that is what it is happening. That means input output operation. So kitchen is an input, okay, hall is an output operation. So input output operations are happening here. So that's why serving the coffee to all of my colleagues are taking so much of time. Correct. So what, okay, what otherwise what we can do, what my mother can do, so my mom can take one tray and she can put all the cup of coffees in that tray. Okay, and she used to serve the coffee to my colleagues. Correct. So only once you can go to the kitchen and get all the cup of coffees in a tray and come out to the from the kitchen to hall, right? Only one time input output operation. That means she is doing a batching operations. Batching is nothing but at a time. So these many rows should get, okay, delete, or else these many cups I need to get at a time to haul to serve the coffee. Clear? Is it correct, right? Correct, right? So this is what the batching operations means. So you need to say what execute SQL task means. It is used to execute SQL statements, and it it performs batching operations. It is faster because of doing the batching operations. It is very very faster. It will delete, or it will update, or it will insert. Okay, so batching data, it is going to be doing all these things. Okay, batching is the sense, for example, 1 million records I want to insert means, so if only 5,000 okay, 2,000, 1,000 records, it is not going to be inserting. It will insert at least, okay, some 20,000 or 30,000 rows at a time. Later it will insert 20 to 30,000 rows. So later it will load all the data. That is what it is going to be happen. Okay, so that is what the batching operation. So batching operation is going to be available for this execute SQL task. Okay, so all these things I will let you know, guys. Okay, don't worry right now. Hmm? I will let you know what is a parameter. We are going to be doing one example clearly. Okay, so this is what execute SQL task and analysis service process task. So it is used to process the cube from SSAS. Okay, so it is used to process the cube from SSAS. That means, uh, as you know, I think some people know about SSAS. So we are going to be creating a cube on, okay, some tables, data warehousing tables, right? So we are going to build and deploy the whatever the cube you have created in SSAS into SSMS. Am I correct? So you are going to load that particular, you are going to deploy that particular cube created into SSMS, right? So you need to process, deploy and process. So once it is processing means, what it is going to be doing, the cube will do process to store the aggregate and to store the all permutations and combinations of data into the cube, right? Processing means what cube will do, it will do all permutations and combinations. That means city wise what is the sales happen, city wise, country wise what is the sales happen. Okay, city wise, state wise what is the sales happen, country wise, state wise what is the sales happen, only state wise what is the sales, only country wise what are the sales. So like that, so it is going to be doing, it is going to be keeping the data in the cube with all permutations and combinations. That is what the process, right? So once the process is done, it will deploy the complete cube into SSMS. There we are going to be writing some MDX queries. So to process that particular cube wherever you have, so to do that, by using analysis service process task we can do. Okay, so for example, drag it and drop it, double click on this. Okay, go to processing settings. So here you need to give the connection manager, so where the location is available. So create a new connection to computer running analysis, create a connection for analysis. So if you want to edit, you can edit. Okay, you can give the server name where your analysis service is located. For example, my analysis service is here. Let's change this to analysis service. Now click on connect. Okay, so I have connected. So I'm having some okay, I don't have any databases here. Okay, so no worries. Refresh. Yeah, so I don't have anything. Mm, I've connected so many. 19, let me try. Okay, this is not working. I haven't installed. Okay, fine. So I don't have any databases currently. So I am using this particular server name to connect. Okay, I'm using this one or this one, anyone's server name to connect. So I'm giving that server name. Okay, so where, okay, Windows authentication. So let's take the database name. Okay, we can choose all these things. Later you can do just test connection and click on OK. So it will show you. Now click on OK. So it is not the correct one actually. Okay, so it will show you all the things available here. So you just click on OK. Okay, if you click on OK, so this is going to be red color mark will gone. So now execute this particular package. So when you execute this particular package, wherever the cube, okay, where the location is, so that location, that thing is going to be, okay, that thing is going to be uh, processing that particular cube. The complete qubit is going to do the process. Okay, the complete qubit is going to do the process. Clear? So that is what the analysis service process task is going to be doing. So we'll see one of the cube. Let's do process. Okay, so the next one is bulk insert task. So what bulk insert task will do? So it is used to import text files data into SQL server. Okay, for what are the advantages if we use the bulk insert task? Means faster than the data flow task. So what is the data flow task? Data flow task, we know that it will, okay, load the data. Okay, it will, okay, it is used to perform the ETL operations, right? Data flow. So in the same way, bulk insert task also what it will do, it will take the text files data. Okay, it will take the text files data and load that text files data into the SQL server destination, right? In the SQL server, in the form of tables you can store. Okay, but compared to data flow task, this is very faster. Why it is faster? Let us see. So can get range of rows. Okay, so disadvantages are source must be flat file or a text file, no other sources. Listen this one, very important points these are. Okay, source must be flat file or text file, no other sources. So source is like, so I'm having one notepad file and Excel file. So I can load that particular notepad file data and Excel file data through data flow task. For example, I am having, so let me take a new package, this package. Okay, so I am having two sources. One is Excel and one is, for example, okay, two source files, for example. So the first one is Excel file, okay, and the second one is notepad file or text file. You can call it this anything. Okay, so these are the two files I'm having. So I need to create two packages. Okay, so to create two packages. Okay, create two packages to load the file data into a destination. Okay, into a destination. So what I'm doing, so I know that data flow task you need to use to load this data. Okay, right? So when you go here, I'm using the data flow task. This is one package. Double click on data flow task. I'm having Excel, so I'm having Excel source. Let me connect. Okay, I'm going to be loading this data into the SQL server destination. So let me put connection like this. Whatever the source you have, where the file is located, you go and browse that particular file. Okay, attendance list. This is the file I'm having. Click on OK. Okay, so now choose the sheet. Do we any have any sheet? No sheet. Okay, let me take a new one. Mm, do we have any kind of merge incremental load? So let me check one second. Yeah, let me choose this one. There is a file name called employee. Preview the data. So there are one, two, three, four columns you have, some data you have. So now the columns, employee ID, name. Now click on OK. Red color mark is gone. So I want to load the data, whatever the data you have in the Excel file. I want to load that data into the SQL server in one of the table. Okay, and I will create one more package over here. Okay, so here again I will drag and drop data flow task. Again I will go and drag and drop the flat file source, that means notepad file, and SQL server destination. So now try to load the data. So I choose, okay, so the path where the data flow is located. Okay, so now click on columns. You have this data, this data, blah blah. Now click on OK. Okay, columns, these are the columns you have. Click on OK. So you need to configure this. Okay, so actually this is the process we are going to be doing, but by using a bulk insert task, what we can do? So see, so faster than a data flow task. So whatever the data flow task just now I have created for both the packages, so this is somewhat slow than the, okay, bulk insert task we have. So if you use this bulk insert task, double click on this bulk insert task, it is used to import text files data only. So if you have text files data, that means notepad files data you have, okay, the files you have means you use simply the bulk insert task. So bulk insert task, it will, okay, provide, it will work faster than the data flow task. So the disadvantages is source must be flat file or text file, destination must be SQL server table, cannot validate, clean or transform data with this task, cannot get error rows separately. So see, if I use this bulk insert task, go to the connection. So you need to give the connection. So what connection, in which table you want to store? So in this database, now click on this database, the table. What is the table name? Let me take the employee table name. Okay, the destination. So here only you can see each and everything. So the file, whatever the file, you need to drag it and drop it, the file connection. Okay, browse it. So you have the employee table. Now click on OK. So whatever the employee dot text source it is having, that data should go and store in this particular database, in this particular table. The format you need to mention, okay, row. So row delimiter, this should be, okay, column delimiter tab. So if I am having comma separated, you need to select the comma separated. Now click on options. If you click on options, you can see code page raw, okay, batch size is 0. If you want to mention, so how many rows at a time you want to load, 5000, yes. So last row is 0, first row is 1. Okay, so 1 is nothing but, for example, I'm having the data Okay, the first row. So I don't want to load the first row. I want to load from the second row. That means second is nothing but first one, it is taking as a columns, okay, in a notepad file. Okay, this is the notepad file. First you are going to be having the columns, right? So later you are going to be having, from second line you are going to be having the data. So from second line I want to store the, I want to take the data. So that is what I have mentioned. Last row is equal to 0 means how many rows you have in that particular file, you can take those many files, sorry, those many rows at the end. That means, okay, so these are the some kind of things. If you want to write some expressions, you can write. Now click on OK. So now this is got, okay, uh, configured. Okay, this is got configured. So now save and run this package. It will not run, it will show error. Why? Because I have to some, see, the existing file is available in some folder. That file is having 4 columns, but the destination table I have took that employee table in this particular vivid trainings, it is having only 3 columns, but the file is having 4 columns. I need to, okay, do configure. I need to change the table name, or else I need to create the same table name here, so to get to load that data. So here with only one task we are going to be completing, but if you use the data flow task, you drag and drop the data flow task like this. You need to choose the source, you need to choose the destination, and later you need to run the package. So this flow is somewhat slower as compared to the bulk insert task. So bulk insert task, it is used to export only the text files data into the SQL server only. Okay, so that is why this is very faster compared to the data flow task. Clear? So I'll explain one example, beautiful example. So here if you see, cannot validate, clean or transform data with this task. Okay, so cannot validate, clean or transform. For example, uh, for example, if you go to the data flow task, okay, if you are choosing a notepad file source, okay, notepad file, for example, let us understand this is the source you have instead of this excel source. So what is happening here means, so if you have any duplicates data, or else if you want to store this particular data into the uh, which destination, let's say excel destination, I want to store whatever the data into the available in the notepad file, that I want to store in the excel, or else, okay, or else you can say a raw file destination or some Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Yes, hear me. Achha.
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, okay. So we what we are doing here. Mm. For example, if I want to store whatever the data available in the flat files into the Excel or else into the raw file source, so then what I can do by using this bulk insert task, is it possible? No. So by using the bulk insert task, it is not possible to load the Excel, sorry, to load the notepad files into, okay, the Excel, or else the notepad files data into the raw file destination. So it is not possible at all. Okay, that is not possible. So so that is why, if you want to store, only if you want to load the data, so without cleaning any kind of thing, so simply if you want to load into the destination into the SQL server table, then choose bulk insert task. Okay, without cleaning any cleaning data, if you want to load, simply if you want to load that too into the SQL server only, then simply use this bulk insert task. Why bulk insert task means, so you can choose over here, so how many rows you want to, okay, load, how many rows you want to load from notepad file to the SQL server destination. So at a time it will take 5000 rows, and it will load those 5000 rows into the SQL server destination. That is what. So if you don't understand, you can click on this. So when you click on this, specify the number of rows in batch. Each batch is copied to the server as one transaction. SQL server commits or rollback in the case of failure transaction for every batch. Okay, by default all data is specified data file in one batch. So that is what. If you want last row, specify the row at which the insertion of input data stops. The default is 0, indicating the last row in the specified data line, data file. That is what. First row, so first row, the specifies the row at which the insertion of input data begins. The default is 1, indicating the first row in the specified data file. So I want to start from 2, right? So that is what you need to, okay, check. So this is okay. If you want to store without cleaning any cleaning data, just simple simple text files you have, or notepad files you have. So if you want to store that into only the SQL server, then you can do that. Okay, you can do that. So okay, if you want to clean, if you want to do some kind of cleaning, if you want to do some kind of changes, like the data type conversions you want to do, the split you want to do split, okay, all these things you can do by using the, okay, data flow task only. Okay, we are having so many transformations. Okay, so use those transformations to change the data types or some blah 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 things. Okay, so that is what the bulk insert task will do. One demo, don't worry, I will show you. It works only with data that is stored in SQL server. So data profiling is nothing but, so simply you can say, um, so it is going to be taking some kind of a sample data available in that particular table for quality purpose, for checking purpose. Okay, so it can profile a column null ratio, column value distribution, key column profile, column pattern profile, etc. So that means it is going to be, for example, what I can say, so in particular column, how many null values you have. Okay, in this particular column, how many, what we can say, Mm, like for example, I am having some data, I want to do some kind of profiling on that. So profiling means, so for example, there is a table called employee id, name, salary, gender. So in employee id, so we have all the records. Employee name, we have all the records, four records, for example, let's say four records. So in salary, so we are having four records, but two are nulls and two are having salaries. And in gender column also, one is having not, okay, one is don't have any kind of gender, the other three rows you have the data. Okay, so what this profiling will do means, in particular name, in particular name, so it is having 100% of data. In salary column we have two null values, so it is going to be, the profiling is going to be doing, it is going to be showing that 50% of salary column is, okay, having a null data. Okay, and for gender column we have only one, okay, record is not available, the other three records are available. That means 75% of gender data we have. So that is kind of thing we are going to be doing. Okay, okay, so for example, I am the manager, so what I am going to be doing, I am asking to the team members, like how many people, how many male people or female people are available in our company. Okay, so one employee will say, okay, male people are more, and some other people will say female people are more. So how you can see? So after seeing the reports, after seeing the people only, I can say female are more or male are more, right? Right, I'm looking, I'm doing some kind of profiling there. Okay, so when you create a profile on that, it is going to create some suspect. Like if you tell more people data, but data is showing a more female, so before loading into the destination, this task is going to check how many rows or how much of percent of data is available for this particular column, how much of data is available for this particular column. Like this, it is going to be doing some kind of profiling, some kind of sampling the data. For quality purpose, it is going to be checking all these things. So before loading into the destination, this is going to be used. Okay, so we'll do one demo, clear demo. So the next one is execute a package task. So execute package task is, it is used to call other packages, can create a parent and child packages. Packages are executed parallelly as you wish, that is. Okay, for example, okay, so for example, there are two packages, this is one package, this is one package. So I'm going to be creating a new package. So in this, what I'm going to be doing, execute package task, I will drag and drop. So execute package task, what it will do means, it is used to call other packages. So by using only this package, package 3, I am going to call the first three packages. So configure, double click on this execute package, go to package. So so which package you want to execute, the package one. Okay, now click on okay, red color mark gone. Double click on this, go to package, which package you want to run, package one. Now click on okay, red color mark has gone. Double click on this, go to package, click on the package 2. Now the okay, now red color mark has gone. Now save this and execute it. So when you execute with only this one package, only with this one package, I am executing all other packages. Okay, so what execute what execute package task will do, it is used to call other packages. So when you are calling other packages, when you are running the other packages, so how you are going to be running the other packages, so by using execute package task. Okay, so this is parallelly you can do, parallelly you can do. So first this one, thus that one. So at a time, how many tasks we are going to be executing, so that property we will discuss. Okay, so that property we will discuss, that is very important interview question. Okay, we will discuss about that. no issues while doing example. Okay, clear what is execute package task? It is used to call other packages. So execute process a task. Execute process task. It is used to run third party executables. Example .exe files, .bat files. Okay, so you can pass the parameters. So usages of this execute process task call any application such as zip, unzip, send SMS, etc. Okay, what by using this execute process task, what we can do is, so you can call any other application, direct application. Some of the applications you can call and you can perform whatever it is going to be doing. For example, zip and unzip. So to zip and unzip, we are going to be having one winrar application, right? So we are going to be having the winrar application. Where it is? So where WinRAR? You see this one, WinRAR.exe. Where it is? See application .exe. So what it will do? It will extract and it will compress. I mean, you can make 100 files into one single file. You can extract, right? Okay. So this is going to be doing. So a WinRAR application is going to be doing. Correct, right? So by using this WinRAR applications, so what I can do in SSIS is I will do zipping and unzipping. Okay, zipping and unzipping. So where these are going to be used? Zipping and unzipping. For example, so what you are going to be doing? So what you are going to be doing is zipping and unzipping. For example, you need to load some files, some notepad files into SQL Server table by using SSIS. How you are going to be doing? So you need to configure the notepad files first, right? So where these notepad files are available? Where these notepad files are available? So you need to download from somewhere, right? Correct? You need to download from somewhere, or else you need to, okay, you need to get it from somewhere, right? First, very important. So from where we are going to be getting means from server, from cloud, from web, you can say something else. So the what happening exactly in the project means, the client people, they will upload their notepad files in one server. So they will share that server details to us to connect to that and to go to that particular folder, and you need to download those files into your local machine. Okay, so if those files are having zipped files, zipped folder, if you got it, that means all the files have been zipped. So you want to do unzip, you want to unzip those folder, that particular folder, that particular unzip folder is having, so that zipped folder is having 100 files in it. So you need to do unzip, right? Compulsory, you need to unzip the files. You have 100 files, so those files, a zipped folder you got in the, okay, through the online, through drive or else through server, right? So you have downloaded that zipped folder into your local machine. So to load the data, whatever the data you have in that particular zipped folder, what are the files you have in the zipped folder, if you want to see means, you need to extract it, right? Is you need to unzip the folder, complete folder, right? So when you are unzipping on a complete folder, you can see 100 files in that. Correct? So so in that case, so you need to do unzip. How you are going to be doing unzip? So you don't do manually. So manually it is not possible. So manually we are not going to be doing in the real time. So the complete package how we are going to be designing means, go and connect to the server. Whatever the today files we have, they have uploaded those files, we need to download into our system. So if any okay, if any zipped folder is downloaded, you need to unzip that folder. So for that, we need to use execute process task. So by using a WinRAR application, we are going to be doing unzipping folders, that particular folder, and getting all the files into another folder. Those files we are going to be taking into the data flow and doing some kind of loading process. That is what we need to design the package. So where we need to use this execute process task means, in that cases we are going to be more helpful for this. Clear? So we'll do one demo tomorrow. So this is how we need to configure actually. So I will explain about that later. No issues at all. Okay. So expression task, it is used to write simple expressions. So what kind of expressions we can write?